I think when you grow up with that kind of mentality and that kind of energy and so much positivity around you, it just kind of makes you into a positive person as well. Oh my God. I slept like a baby and I haven't packed. Well, I mean, everything is on the dining room table. I just haven't put it into a suitcase yet, only because Miss Minnie has to have medicine before we leave, and the vet told me that it needs to be calm in the house for her to process it properly because it's just a very potent drug. So I wrapped it in that turkey that I showed you all. I'm going to take at least 2 of the leftover immunity wellness shots that I made here at home and just like do some light P-A-C-K-I-N-G. Mia knows way too many words. Cheers. That'll wake you up. Woo! Let's get ready to rise from within. Oh, that's so good. These are so good. They just taste like you're drinking a drink from Starbucks, but it's not coffee, it's tea. We gotta get dressed, gotta get changed, gotta take a quick baby shower. We got a lot of things to do.
Everything glistens and everything's bright. Everyone's happy and spirits are light. I am sitting here thinking, alone with my drink as I do.
We are about, 4 hours into this drive so far, so we're almost halfway done. And I've just been listening to podcasts and, soaking in all of the knowledge from some of my favorite people to listen to. And so I just wanted to chat with you all about some of the things that I took away from this morning's podcast. I listened to an episode of The Confidence Corner, which is with one of my favorite influencers on social media. Her name is Callie, and she's from Britain, and I love her accent so much, and I just love listening to her podcast. This is actually one that was from 2019. She interviewed this woman who's a comparison coach. So basically what she does is she helps you to get over comparing yourself and your life and what you may not have or what others have in comparison to where you are in your life. And so this is something that I think with social media and so much of us, watching other people's lives and seeing all of the highlights and the reels and everything that people are sharing, and we don't get to see oftentimes that realness or the part of people's lives that are not so highlighty, and that it's okay to compare yourself, but it's also necessary to do the work to make sure that you are living your life for you, that you are only comparing yourself to yourself, because when you get into the comparison game, it often steals your joy. It doesn't allow you to be able to be the best version of yourself because you're constantly trying to strive to be someone else that's not you. There's only one you in this world. You are unique just as you are. And I really, really loved the message that they had to say. And they had 2 things at the very end of the podcast that I really resonated with. And one was, when someone tells you something that you wish you had for yourself, you say, good for you and good for me too. And it just kind of gives you that validation of, I'm so excited for you, but I'm also excited for myself and whatever the future will hold for me. And when you kind of have that language and that type of repertoire with yourself and with the people that are around you that you engage with in your life, it just helps you to be both positive, to uplift yourself and to uplift others and wherever they are in their journey. So I really, really loved that. And then the other one, which since we're coming into the new year and we're kind of getting to that point where we are going to be thinking about resolutions and all of the things that come with, the start of a fresh new year, she said to have what's called a compass word for yourself. So her compass word for 2019 was savor. So she felt like she was constantly going. She never really was like actually enjoying and taking the time to enjoy the things that she was doing in her life and actually appreciating and savoring the moments that she was experiencing. And so I am going to think about what my compass word for 2022 is going to be. And I also want you to let me know in the comments what your compass word would be. So it could be something related to a goal that you have. It could be something related to an intention that you want to set for yourself. And yeah, so I really loved that podcast so much. I just found it very inspirational and just super helpful for me. I'm just going to keep listening to a few more podcasts, and I think we'll be to our destination in like 3 hours, which is wild.
Feeling alone, kinda misty, waiting now for you to come. It's cold again, but I know we'll be warm, sitting by the fire and dream. Tell me again with a whisper, little things that I wanna hear.
This is actually a super nice rest stop because it has this really long path, so you can get a nice walk in. So far the drive has been really easy. It's been low traffic, just listening to all the podcasts. The weather is beautiful. Yeah, it's a gorgeous day. So I'm really happy with this drive so far. I think we only have a couple hours left, and then we will make it to our final destination for the night. We're in Nebraska right now, which is a whole lot of nothing. We made it to our hotel for the night. The drive was super easy today and not stressful at all, and it just feels nice to have like a nice place to stay for the evening. We're staying at one of my favorite hotel branches from the Hilton, which is Home 2 Suites, and I love that they have like a full-on kitchen and like you have a couch, and it just feels like you're kind of in a studio apartment. So I'll show you all what it looks like. So I have my little kitchen section here with a dishwasher, refrigerator, all of our dishes. Mia's got her food. There's a table here that pulls out if you need a desk. That's our couch and the bed. I used to travel a ton for work, and this was one of my favorite places to stay because it just allowed me the flexibility to be able to cook my own food if I wanted, or, you know, have breakfast or all of those things. So I know we're only staying here for one night, but it's just really nice just to have, you know, space and a kitchen space and Mia to be able to hang out and relax. So we need to order some food though. I just finished dinner and I went to the car to go get my water. I literally drank more than half of this in my drive today. That's pretty wild. I don't usually feel like I drink that much water, but I was super thirsty today. And I left the water bottle in the car, so we're just gonna drink from the jug. Because I do not like to drink tap water in the hotels. I don't know where that shit comes from. I'm super tired. I feel like my brain is pretty foggy. But I asked you all on Instagram today to ask me anything. So you had some pretty good questions for me. So I figured before we wrap this vlog up, I would answer some of the questions that you asked and just chit chat with you all and do a little Q&A. Okay, let's get cozy because I have quite a few questions to answer before I go to bed. Okay, so the first question that I got was, why did I move to Colorado Springs? And it's kind of an interesting story. So I had no interest in moving to Colorado. At the time when I decided to move to Colorado Springs, I was working for a university and I was working in admissions. So I was the person who decided whether you got admitted to the college that I was working at or not. And I knew that I wanted a change. There was a ton of travel involved and I really didn't care for reading applications. So I decided that I was going to quote unquote switch sides of the desk, and I started working for a small independent school, and I was their director of college counseling. So instead of being the person who was reading their applications and deciding who was admitted, I was the person that helped students figure out what their dreams were, what they wanted to do with their life, and apply to college. I loved that position and that job. However, when the opportunity came along for me to transition into a whole new career field and do this as my full-time job, I knew that I was going to take that opportunity. And I didn't think that I was going to love Colorado Springs at all. I didn't really care for Colorado when I first was looking for jobs. It was actually on what's called your C list. So you have A's, B's, and C's of where you could potentially move. So A's are you 100% want to move. Those are your top choices. For me, I really wanted to move to Miami or potentially back to Texas. And then you have your B list, which is like not my top choice, but if I lived there, I'd be okay. And C's are absolutely not. A recruiter reached out to me and said, hey, I know Colorado's on your C list and that you're not really interested in moving there, because I really didn't love Denver all that much. And I had traveled there quite a bit for work, but he knew that I didn't like Colorado, but mentioned that, hey, like, I think this would be a really good fit for you. You should consider it. And so the process was super quick and really, really fast. And I absolutely loved working with my students. I miss them. I do really miss being able to engage and interact with kiddos on a daily basis. That's something that I really miss a lot, but I really, really love what I do now. So yeah, so that's how I ended up in Colorado. I fell in love with Colorado Springs and I love living there. I don't know if I'll live here forever, but for the foreseeable future, this is home. So the next question actually segues perfectly from the previous question, and this was, do I like being a full-time content creator? Yes, I love it. I think it is the most fun job. There's so much creativity and flexibility, and I just really love that I'm able to share my passions and my life with you all, and that is, you know, what I do as a full-time career. I will say there is a lot of behind the scenes that you guys don't see. It's a lot of work. I work more now than I ever did before. And I think part of it is because when you're passionate about something and it's something that you own and that you're kind of responsible for, the level of commitment and energy that you put into it is just so much more significant than when you're working for someone else. And I love that no day is the same and that there's so much differentiation between what brands you're working with and what they're offering and what the project is and what the goals and the outcomes are of the project. I think the one thing that I find to be the biggest challenge for me is that I kind of have a little bit of imposter syndrome where you're like, how long is this going to last? Like, am I actually going to be doing this for, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? How long is this part of my life going to, be active? And I think that's one of the things that's the beauty of this job is that you can continually ride that wave, but you can also continually evolve as well. And so I have so many ideas and things that I want to create and new companies and business endeavors. And I just can't wait to take you all along the journey with me because I just feel like things are going to get better and better. And there's so many things that I want to do and that I have planned to do, and I can't wait to share them with you all once they come to fruition. And one of the biggest things in particular is I really, really want to open up an inclusive fitness brick and mortar studio to allow women to have the kind of space that I experience when I go to dance fitness courses. And I know so many of us are so reluctant to go to these classes because we feel like we're going to be out of place. There's not going to be anybody that looks like us. And I want to create that space for you all to feel safe, to feel excited. And that's probably going to be like my next big bucket list journey. But yeah, so long story short, I love my job. The next two questions are, one, how are you doing? And two, how do you stay so positive? So I am doing well. I am super happy right now. I'm so excited for all the things that are already on the horizon for 2022. And I would say, I don't really know how I stay so happy. I'm generally just a really optimistic person. I have a lot of energy and I feel like I am so positive because I grew up in such an environment that allowed me to be exactly as I am. I was encouraged to be, a leader in my classes and a leader in the organizations that I was involved in. And I was always told that I could do whatever I wanted in life. And I think when you grow up with that kind of mentality and that kind of energy and so much positivity around you, it just kind of makes you into a positive person as well. I will definitely say there are moments where I feel negative. I struggle with, romantic relationships, and that's an area where I don't always feel as positive, and I can get like a little more in my feelings and feel more emotional. But I would say like on the day-to-day, my general life, how I feel engaging with other people and activities and, just going through the day-to-day motions of life, I just feel so blessed and fortunate to live the life that I do. And I think that's part of why I'm able to continually stay so positive. I think I'm going to end that here. You guys had some other questions for me as well, which I will try to answer over on Instagram. So if you have other questions for me, I think it's still live to ask me anything. I am always an open book. I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have for me. I love you all so much. I appreciate you all more than you know. This community is so, so important to me, and I hope that you feel the positivity, the energy, the appreciation that I have for you. I will see you all for Vlogmas Day. Is it 24, 25? Anyways, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.